Salvete omnes. We learned two new forms for the perfect past tense that were very similar in the last lesson. Say, the farmer worked. Agricola laboravit. Now say, I didn't sleep. Non dormivi. These two forms are very similar because it's as though we keep the long vowel at the end and add v. And recalling Julius Caesar's famous phrase, say now, I saw a male friend. Amicum vidi. And how did we say he or she said nothing? Nihil dixit. This lesson's story contains all ARE verbs except one, so we will stick to just practicing these forms for now. Can you figure out the next sentence? Miser et infelix eram. Or for females, misera et infelix eram. I was miserable and unhappy. We saw the word felix earlier, and the prefix in is the Latin equivalent to un and non. We also have this prefix in certain words derived from Latin, like infinite or not finite. And miser obviously means miserable and also pitiful, wretched, etc. Note also, miser declines according to gender, but infelix does not. One word for river is fluvius. We can remember this word by thinking that water is flowing down the river. This also has roots in fluent and flux, because when we speak fluently, we speak fluidly. Look at the next sentence now. Nympha ad fluvium fugatavit. The nymph fled to the river. We will see this phrase in the story. Another phrase in the story is this one. O nymphae forma meam mutate. O nymphs, change my form. This is a good sentence for review. Here, o nymphae is the vocative form, which is usually the same as the nominative form, but is used to address someone. Forma is obvious, and then we have mutate. Can you tell what form this is? It's the imperative plural form. Just like salvete, it has a te on the end to indicate it's the plural. And the imperative is normally just the dictionary form of the verb minus re. Let's try some other words in imperative form. Say to one person, work. Labora. Now read the book. Librum lege. And what does this mean? Fac iterum. Do it again. Try to say now to multiple people, say that again. Dicite iterum. After Syrinx tells the nymphs to change her form, we have the sentence Dende nymphae eam in papyros in fluvio mutavit. We saw eam in the last lesson, remember? It means her. And the word papyros can refer to the paper, garment, or plant that the first two are made from. Here it is the plant, the paper reed. And we also have two uses of in this sentence. Can you see the difference? In papyros is in the accusative form, but it's plural. So this is what she is turned into. And in fluvio is the location, which we can tell because it's the ablative form. So this sentence means, then the nymphs changed her into paper reeds in the river. And from eam, can you guess what the male plural version is? Eos. So this means them when referring to something masculine, like papyros. Try to guess the next sentence. Septum papyros adhaesit. He or she attaches 7 reeds. Can you see the connection to adhesive? It's clearer in the written form. And the present tense is adhairet, which resembles adhere. But we can see that this is an irregular form, since the R changes to S in the past tense. The story ends with this sentence: Denique septum papuros adhaesit et fistulam formaavit. If you recall, the words primo, dende, denique are used to narrate a sequence of events. They're roughly equivalent to first, then, and finally. Formavit obviously means formed. We also just saw forma, which was the noun meaning form. In Latin, there are 2 different forms for form, but in English, we only have form. English is weird like that. And then the word fistula can mean things like a tube or a pipe, and also refers to the pipes of Pan. This is the story of the origin of the pan flute, which looks like this. It usually has 7 or more pipes of varying length that were played by blowing air over the openings. Okay, let's finish the story of Pan et Syringa. Sed nympha misera ad fluvium fugatavit. Syringa ad nymphas clamavit. O nymphae forma meam mutate. Denda nymphae eam in papyros in fluvio mutavit. Pan papuros vidit et eos amabat. Denique septum papuros adhaesit et fistulam formavit. We still have a ways to go with the past tense, but hopefully you're starting to be able to recognize the forms when you read, and remember some of the endings like awi and awit. Try to also pay attention to when the imperfect tense is being used, and to figure out why it is being used instead of the perfect tense. Remember, the perfect tense is used for completed actions. Brief actions that were done once, not acts that were continuous or habitual. These are covered by the imperfect tense, which is also used for descriptions in a narrative like, the house was big. But don't worry if you don't remember all this. We will obviously be seeing much more of the past tense in the stories to come. See you next time. On Patreon, each story is consolidated in a single downloadable audio file, together with a full transcript and English translation. The example sentences used in each lesson are also included. There's a link below. Gracias!